Hi guys, welcome back to Overtime Heroics MMA. My name is Martin Hamilton. I'm joined today by One Championships lightweight champion, Christian Lee. How are you doing, Christian?
I'm doing good, thanks, man.
How's your day been? How's the weather over in Hawaii?
Uh, uh, day's been going great. I'm loving the time I've been able to spend at home with my family, and everything is great here in Hawaii. It's summertime, so the days have been great. Spending a lot of time outside, and just really relaxing and enjoying this time off.
Do you do a lot of surfing over there?
I get asked this question a lot. I don't surf at all. My wife and I, we try to go down to the beach, but we get lucky if we go once a year. But we live in Hawaii. We live so close to the water, but we're in our day-to-day routine, going in and out of the gym every day, staying busy. So it's not, even though we're so close, we actually don't get around to it too often.
Yeah, you're probably better off staying out of the water at times. Too many sharks. That's my experience.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into the interview, Christian. So both yourself and your sister Angela have dominated your divisions at one championship. What do you attribute your success to, and can we expect a similar success from the latest Lee sibling to join one in Victoria?
So my sister and I, we've had a great run in one championship so far. We were both active champions in our respective divisions, and I would really just attribute all of that success to our upbringing, how we were brought up. Growing up, all we knew was training in martial arts. That's really was our day-to-day routine, and so growing up in a martial arts family, we already had that discipline and that work ethic installed in us. And then from there, once we became professional athletes, we dove in 100%, and we committed our whole lives to being successful in our sport. And so, it's really just a combination of our family pushing us and to teaching us along the way, mixed with our own personal desire for success and the work that we put in once we decided to make it a career. So I absolutely believe that my sister, who's already signed to one championship, Victoria, even my little brother, Adrian, who's 15 years old now, he's also coming up the ranks. And I absolutely believe that they will be successful in their careers and future champions because of, the fact that they had really the same upbringing as my sister and I, and they have that same drive, they have that same desire to succeed and in whatever they do. So I absolutely believe that they'll be future champions, and it's just a matter of time for them.
Because do you feel it's a huge motivator to have such highly successful siblings? So your sister Victoria is a world champion. Your sister Victoria is signed to one of the biggest promotions in the world as well. And your younger brother coming through. Your younger brother's 2 years younger than you were before when you get signed for one championship. So do you feel that's a huge motivator for you?
Yeah, I do think it's a big motivator for them. It's really great because they, growing up with my sister and I, it was everything was new for us. The first time we flew overseas to train at Evolve MMA, it was the first time traveling to train at a gym. The first time we went to a one championship event, that was the first time we've ever been at a professional event. So everything was kind of new to us when we started our careers. But with my little brother and sister, they've been backstage for all of our events since they were, I think 6 and 8 years old. Was around the first time that they went to one of our events. So, they've been in the MMA scene since they were young kids, and they were able to grow up watching my sister and I. So I definitely think it's a big bonus for them to have that experience in them, just from following us around in the events. And I'm sure it definitely helps to motivate them.
Because you touched on it a wee bit there. You touched on Evolve MMA, the gym over in Singapore, owned by the owner of One Championship. Can you just, for the viewers at home, can you just give like a kind of description of what it's like to train at such a high level facility? Because it's got the likes of Demetrius Johnston training there, Sage Northcott, Rafael Dos Anjos was over there for a while. So can you just elaborate on what it's like to train at such a world class facility?
So the first time we trained at Evolve MMA, it was really great, and all of our experiences there have been great. My sister and I, we especially early on in our careers, we would go down there and stay for weeks at a time in Singapore, and we'd do our training and do part of our fight camps there at Evolve, and it's just really great because they have such a big array of world champions there. Like you mentioned, all of the MMA fighters, MMA world champions that are there, along with all of the Thai champions that they have there as well. They have multiple Lumpini and Muay Thai world champions that are working and living in Singapore now. So they're there to spar with and to exchange techniques with, along with the many BJJ world champions that they have there as well. So it's just such a big mix of highly skilled athletes all in one place, and it's definitely a great place to test your skills and to help to grow your skill set.
So you touched on it a little bit at the start of the interview, but from everyone over at Overtime Heroics MMA, we'd all like to congratulate you on becoming a dad. So has becoming a dad, has that changed your approach to fights and to fighting?
Oh, well, thank you. It definitely has changed my approach to fighting. It's changed my approach to how I see everything moving forward. Before, when I started off my career, I wanted to do it because I love fighting and I wanted to be a world champion. And as my career progressed, now I'm married and now I have my first baby. It's no longer about me. I'm no longer fighting for myself at all. I'm fighting. Of course, I love fighting, but I'm fighting to provide a future for my family, to create a legacy for my family, and to really make a good living for them. So whenever I get into the gym, I'm working as hard as I can, and when I go out there to fight, I'm not letting there's no doubting in my mind that I'm going to finish this opponent in front of me, and I'm not letting anyone get past me.
So you touched on it a bit of this question as well, a wee bit at the start of the interview, but I would just like to get a wee bit more information out of you about it. So obviously your father is a huge part of your life, specifically in the element of martial arts. Can you just take us back to growing up and tell us how your martial arts journey actually began?
So yeah, my martial arts journey began very, very early on in my life. My parents owned a martial arts gym, and so from the moment we were born, we were really in and out of the gym. We'd be spending time there, after when we were babies, we were growing up in the gym. From the time that we were young kids, after school, it's straight to the gym, and that was just the life that we were living, because of the fact that my parents were martial arts instructors, and that was their lives as well. And so they had a young kids program that started, I believe, from like 3 to 6 years old. So that was right around the time that I first started, just introduction to martial arts, learning how to fall, learning how to roll, learning basic ground positions. But that was really the introduction for me. Just starting that young, I feel is so great for kids, because it helps to develop all of these necessary skills that you can just further develop later on as you grow. So I definitely think it helped that my parents started me in martial arts training at such a young age. And then from there, it really just never stopped. I was, growing up in the gym, just training really every single day that the gym was open. I was there training, because, my parents, their mindset was, if they were there anyways, if I'm there anyways, I might as well be in there training. And so, you know, growing up, that was really all we'd know is going to school, coming home, and training in martial arts.
Do you feel that's a huge factor in your success? Because you're only 22 years of age and you're already a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. You're already a world champion, which for most people at the age of the age of 22, they don't know what they're doing with their life. They are they are nowhere near as set and have put as much years of dedication into anything as you have to martial arts. So do you feel that's been a huge factor in your success?
I definitely feel like is a very big factor in my success. You know, like you said, at 22 years old, it's not very common to have fought as many times as I have, or to have been able to have the opportunity to fight for a world title. And so I really just attribute that to how early I started my journey. Many people they start training in martial arts when they're 18, 19 years old, and then later on they turn professional, maybe in their 20s, and that's when their journey starts. For me, I've been training since I was a young kid, so I'm really like, you could say I'm like 19 years of training
Yeah.
at just 2 years of age, right? And then on top of the fact that I started competing at such a young age as well, I think I had my first jiu-jitsu competition when I was 5 years old. I traveled to my first national competition when I was 12, and my first world championship amateur competition when I was 15, 14. So, and then from there turning professional at the age of 17, I'm already 5 years into the sport. So I think the fact that I started my journey and my career so young is the reason why I'm able to be where I'm at today at such a young age, because of the fact that I put in the work early and I started my career so much earlier than many people have.
Because that's the thing as well. Like, you're only 22 years of age and you've already got 5.5 years of experience and one championship, one of the biggest promotions in the world. So some could argue that makes you a veteran at the age of 22, which is just a credit to everything that you've worked for your whole life. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I really do feel like a veteran in the sport um, at just 22 years of age, and that's because of the fact that I started so early in my career. And I'm just, for me, it's just exciting because at 22 years of age, I feel a lot older. I feel than my age, but it's great because I have so many more years to continue growing, continue developing as a martial artist, and I'm just excited to keep defending my world title and keep claiming more world titles along the way. So yeah, I'm glad I started so young.
Because that's it as well. Like you still haven't hit your physical peak. Like, so we've not even seen the best version of Christian Lee. Because when you look at most other MMA fighters out there, and look at where they are, where they were when they were 22. Sorry, I don't think there's any who are champion of one of the biggest promotions in the world, the biggest promotion in Asia. So if that's where you are at 22, where will you be at 30?
Yeah, it's exciting because having won the belt and defending it, 2 times, I still feel that I'm learning every day. I still feel that I have leaps and bounds to grow as a martial artist and as a fighter. So I think it's great that I'm already here at the top, but I'm not stopping here. I'm not going to be content with where I'm at. I'm going to continue trying to be better every day, and definitely don't think I'm anywhere near my peak yet.
So we'll look at one championship for a second here, and what do you feel makes one championship such a good foundation for fighters to show their talents to the world?
Yeah, I think that one championship is an excellent organization to fight in, and I'm very happy that I started my career in one championship, and I'm still fighting for one championship. They really truly care for their athletes, and they treat them well. They treat them with respect, and it's just such an amazing experience fighting for one, because you get to travel, all across Asia to see so many different parts of the world that you wouldn't if you were just, fighting in one promotion that doesn't really, go across globally. And they do such an amazing job putting on their events. It's really like a show. It's a true show that you're being able to compete on, rather than just fighting and just going on a fight card. I feel that it's a very different experience, the events that the One Championship is able to put on. And just in terms of the organization, I really feel that One Championship is very close to being on top, to being the number one organization in the world. Right now, of course, there is the UFC and there's One Championship. I feel that they're the top two players in the game. But if we just look at how the champions in each division stack up, I feel very confident that the champions in one are, going to be able to beat the champions in the UFC. I think that there'll be some matches that are close, but I absolutely believe that the skill in One Championship is right there at the top of the world. And I'd be more than happy to put my belt on the line for the UFC champions belt. And I feel that many of the other the champions in my organization would feel the same. So for me, it's just such an honor to fight for One Championship, and I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Because that's the thing as well. Like One Championship, they are by far the fastest growing MMA promotion in the world. So if you take where they were 2 years ago to the monumental leaps they've made in the world now, like you've seen the advancements they've made in America. They dominate Asia, which is a huge market, and they're looking to dabble into the European market as well. So I think your prediction of One Championship being on top, I don't think it's a million miles away at all. I think it's a huge possibility. But as a fighter's point of view, obviously, when you speak to most of I'll use air quotes here, the casual fans, they mostly reckon, especially in the Western Hemisphere, they mostly identify mixed martial arts with the UFC. So they just assume that like the UFC fighters are the best guys in the planet, which there's the argument there. Do you feel as a champion of one that you're sometimes undervalued because you don't fight in the UFC by some fans?
I definitely think there are many fans that still believe that, because of the fact that I'm not fighting in the UFC or I haven't fought there, that I can't truly be the best lightweight fighter in the world. But that's really, just because of the fact that the UFC did such a great job marketing themselves and building up their brand in America and, really across the world in many parts. So, right now, the general MMA fans, they're still on board with the fact that the UFC fighters are the best fighters in the world. But, I've seen firsthand that that's not true. And I really believe that I'm the best lightweight fighter in the world across any organization. So, there's some great fighters in the UFC, but there's some great fighters in One Championship as well. So I feel that, I feel that it's not about the promotion you're signed in. I think that there's amazing fighters all across the globe, and it just depends where those fighters end up being signed to. And it's right now, in terms of the skill set of the fighters, I would say it's really a toss-up between the one roster and the UFC roster. I don't see a big divide there at all.
You spoke earlier about the care that One Championship takes for its fighters. And one of the big subjects that always comes up round about One Championship is the way the fighters cut weight and how they put a lot of emphasis into what hydration tests, and they really look out for the fighter's health and make sure that they're not cutting too much weight, because we've seen it. We all seen the video of Chris Cyborg, when she was crying in the sauna, and it was heartbreaking images. So how do you testament the weight cutting procedures in one to your performances? Do you feel that helps you perform at your optimum?
I really like the way that One Championship does their weight system. Since my second fight in the promotion, I've been doing this hydration system, My first one was a weight cut, and then from there, my second fight in is when they made the change to, take the water weight cut out and to just do the hydration testing to make sure that the athletes are hydrated when they're fighting. And I really strongly support it because every time I've went in there and fought, I felt like I'm fighting in my optimum peak performance. And I know firsthand from competing before and cutting weight, there's really something it does to your body when you drain yourself of all of that water just for one moment on the scale, and then you're trying so hard to rehydrate yourself back up all that weight that you just lost. It really doesn't make sense. So I strongly believe in fighting at your normal weight and the weight that you really belong to be fighting at. So, there's many fighters that will cut, extreme amount of weight to get to a division, but for me, I believe that if you have to cut that much weight to go to the division, you should just be fighting at the division higher. And that's actually what One Championship did with their divisions is, they figured every single fighter is cutting one division down, basically, right? So a welterweight fighter fighting at 170 walks around at the very least at 185. Lightweight fighter fighting at 155, at the very least they're walking around at 170. So they bumped each division up by one, and so now lightweight is 170, welterweight is 185, middleweight is 205, and so on. And so with that, each fighter can stay in their respective divisions without having to go up or down, and they're able to fight at a weight. I'm sure a lot of fighters have to diet down. I still have to do a very strong diet to get to my division, but they're able to fight without having to cut water weight and without having to kill themselves the day before the fight just to get a number on the scale and then quickly try to rehydrate back up. So I definitely think it's smarter, and I hope to see other promotions across the globe doing their weight system the same way.
Because that's the thing, and that's one of the many kind of innovative ideas that one have had that hopefully will start to get picked up by other promotions. It is the weight cut. That's the big one, because fighters' safety, that's paramount in this sport. This is why we love the act of violence, we love the sport of violence, but ultimately we want the fighters to be safe. And a lot of the time, the weight cutting, it simply isn't safe, and we've seen that. We've seen it's went to the extreme where fighters over in Asia have actually died. So I think One Championship, using their platform to take that step, it could be huge for other promotions to follow.
Absolutely.
Because you spoke about this slightly before my last question as well. So I would like to come back to it. And it was about the whole idea of one versus UFC, sorry, which the owner of One seems very keen on. So let's play matchmaker here. If you could pick any fighter from the UFC, who would it be, and how would you see that fight going?
Well, in no way is this a call out.
No,
but of course, if I was to go, if there was to be a super fight against the one champion against the UFC champion, it would be Charles Oliveira, because he's the lightweight world champion there. And, I believe that if we fought, we squared off in the cage, I would come out on top and I would be able to get a finish over him. So, I really truly believe in myself, in my skill set. And if I was to choose one fight over there, the immediate fight would be the guy who's the champion in my division, and that would be Charles Oliveira.
I think that'd be an amazing fight, and hopefully one day it's something the fans get to see, because as fans we want to see the best in the world against the best in the world, because that's what MMA really was designed to be. That's what the UFC was designed to be, to determine who was the toughest man on the planet. So now we've got these organisations. It'd be amazing to actually see who's the toughest man at each weight on the planet. I would love it.
Yeah, so would I. It'd be great.
So just the last question of the day before I let you get going, I let you get back to your wife and your kids. So both Eddie Alvarez and Peter Bust have expressed interest in facing you. How would you see these fights going?
If I was to fight them, I would finish both of them in the first round. And that's taking nothing away against them. When I say that, I say it boldly because I believe in my skills and I believe that I match up very well against both opponents. I think if they were to fight each other, it would probably go to a 3-round decision either way because I feel like they're around the same level. They're very close in their skill set. But I'm sure they both want to fight me because I'm the champion. Anytime you're a contender in a division, the guy you want to fight is the champion. So I don't take any offense in people calling me out because why else would they be in the sport if they didn't want to fight the champion, if they didn't want to be the best? So that's how I see the fight going, and I'm not surprised they want to fight me.
Because we seem to live in the era of double champions as well. Is that something you see in your future, going up a weight division to face the champion?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had my eyes set on the welterweight belt for quite some time now, and I feel that the fight is coming very soon. So, if I defend my lightweight belt next, then of course that's going to be my priority. But, once I get my lightweight title defense down, then I'm going to go up and challenge for the welterweight belt.
So thank you very much for your time today, Christian. We've really appreciated it, and it's been an honour to talk to you. And we wish you all the best, and we wish you all the best for the future. And we can't wait to see what the future holds for such a young champion. We can't wait to see where you are in 10 years' time and what you've accomplished in this great sport.
Thank you, Martin. Great talking.
Thanks very much for listening, guys, and we'll catch you later.